What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy R to the double E dash to the ZON coming at you once again. First time in quite a while, man. It's been at least a few months. Funny enough, I was on Facebook Messenger just the other day with an old subscriber of mine, really good friend, Mercury, and even he brought it up. He was like, "Yo, how come you ain't made a video in a long time, man? What's the deal?" And I just basically was like, "Man, a lot of stuff's been going on in my personal life, good stuff, just getting a lot of things in order and trying to accomplish a lot of things as a family, me, my wife, and the kids, and also on the personal level, myself, and I, trying to, get my 3D modeling to the place where I'm comfortable enough to really start chasing some of these jobs and all that. So there's been that, man. I've also been playing a lot of games, man, doing a lot of stuff. And now that it's been a good number of months, it's been at least almost 3 months since the last video I made. I don't even remember the last one I made. I should have checked my channel before to see which one it was. But in any event, man, there's been a lot, man. I mean, it might have been the E3 video. It might have been my last video, and that was fucking June. So I don't know, man. Anyways, man. First things first, I did want to give my in-depth thoughts, kind of like a mini review on a game that I've reviewed before in the past on other consoles, and when the Switch version came out, and I got my hands on it, and I've been playing a lot of it, especially over the last couple of months. Basically unlocked pretty much everything in that game, and that game is actually the complete edition, so it has all the DLC, everything the game has ever had on any other console. It's all there on the Switch. I'm talking about none other than Jurassic World Evolution Complete Edition for the Nintendo Switch. First and foremost, man, my thoughts on the game. Is it a good port? Yeah, I believe so, man. I mean, and I may not sound like over the moon about it, because it does have some performance issues here and there that can get annoying. But for the most part, overall, it's a very, very well done port, very enjoyable. I'm still flabbergasted that they were able to get that kind of game. It's a demanding game, bro. A sim management type game where so many things can be happening at once. To get all that crammed into a Switch port, and it actually works and it's playable, is a hell of an achievement, man, for Frontier. Happy weekend. So first things first, the graphics. The graphics, I mean, again, this is the Switch. So I don't say that disparagingly or mockingly. I say that matter-of-factly. We know the Nintendo Switch is not capable of the same graphical fidelity as the PS4 or Xbox One, let alone the Series X or the PS5. So there's that. But the graphics are good. It's kind of a mixed bag in the sense that, like, okay, so if you play it docked, which I do very rarely, like I said, I very rarely dock my Switch anymore. It's strictly a handheld for me that I carry around with me and enjoy it that way. But when you play it docked, it does look decent, man. It does look good. You can tell the difference. Of course, it's not the PS4 or Xbox One version. It's slightly downgraded. And I think the way they achieve this is, if you're zoomed out from your animals or from your assets, you're like zoomed out, they lose a lot of detail. They're kind of blurry, kind of foggy. Not foggy. Blurry is a better word. But if you zoom in, all that detail is there. So, as you zoom away or as you pull away from a particular dinosaur or something, you'll notice it does lose detail. It does become a bit blurry. I mean, it's not horrible. You can still tell what it is you're looking at and all that. But it's when you come in close that all that detail is faithfully represented and replicated there. It's just the limitations of the GPU and the CPU and the RAM, everything on the Switch, make it so the only way that you're going to get all that detail is if you're up close, But it does play smoothly. It does run smoothly. Has everything, like I said, every dinosaur, every downloadable asset, every DLC that's ever been offered for Jurassic World Evolution is there faithfully, and it's awesome. It is awesome to have that game on the go handheld. Now here is where the graphics do take a noticeable hit. Okay, so it's like if you have it in handheld, it's like a lot of Switch ports in handheld. Like Doom kind of has this, Mortal Kombat 11 has this. It's like that old school Nintendo Wii like Vaseline filter, right? You know what I'm saying? It's got that look where it looks like there's like a thin layer of Vaseline over your screen. I know that sounds horrible. It is not as horrible as it sounds, but I just made that comparison because it's something that a lot of Nintendo owners and gamers in general will know what I'm talking about. It's got that look where it's like it's not as crisp, not as clear as any other version of this game. But like I said, the closer you get to what you're looking at, the more you see that detail is actually there. It's just the hardware is not able to process it, render it, and display it as crisply as you back up away from it. So there's that. It does look better docked overall, but it doesn't look horrible on handheld. I've seen a lot of reviews, people saying, "Oh, it looks garbage." It does not look garbage. It looks good. It looks decent. Okay, again, you're talking about a ultra demanding, like high intensity on the graphics side of things title being crammed into this handheld form factor that is so limited in GPU, CPU, RAM, all the components basically when compared to the consoles this game was designed for. Remember, this came out in 2018 on the PS4 and Xbox One. There was never any intention, at least at that point, to have it on a Nintendo console. So when they saw how much money the Switch was making and they said, all right, we got to get a piece of that pie, now they got to optimize it and bring it back, scale it back to be able to get it functioning on the Switch. And they did a pretty good job. I don't say they did a perfect job, because the next thing that I'll talk about that on the performance side of things that does bother me, I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but it is noticeable, and after a while it just gets annoying, is no matter what islands you're working on, I mean, assume you guys have played this game or know about it. When I say islands, in Jurassic World Evolution, there's 5 islands, the 5 islands from the Jurassic Park lore, from the Jurassic Park novels and the movies, the Los Cinco Muertes, the 5 deaths. Isla Nublar, where the original Jurassic Park and Jurassic World are. Isla Sorna, which is Site B, where, Lost World took place and Jurassic Park 3 took place. And then 3 other islands that are part of that island chain that we've never seen explored in the movies, but we have seen mentioned and talked about and referenced in the books and another franchise material. So you get to play on all those islands, and your goal is to design a successful Jurassic Park on every single one of those islands. Get it to a 5-star rating, and along the way, complete contracts and do certain tasks and missions that will unlock dinosaurs, different DNA genomes, skin patterns, different traits that you can make your dinosaurs more or less sociable, smarter, more aggressive, faster, stronger bones, all that stuff. It's very in-depth. It's awesome. All that's there. So it doesn't matter which island you're playing on, right? There's a certain moment, and it's not something you can calculate, but as you go adding buildings, facilities, structures, enclosures, dinosaurs, more and more things to your park, there's a certain level, there's a certain part of the in the game, as far as the Switch version goes, where basically like the system is letting you know you got too much for the system to handle. And so it'll get to a point where, and this is where it's annoying, this is where I go and start a different park and just, again, the Switch version for me is my on-the-go version. So that's why I can look past that. If you're getting it strictly on the Switch because that's all you have, it's something that's going to annoy you. When you get to that level where you put too many things or you put a lot, like your park is busy, it's a lot of people walking through the park, there's a lot of animals, a lot of buildings and all that, it starts to chug. And what I mean by that is not constantly, but every time that you select something, every time you say, okay, I want to pick this path. So you think you're going to select this path and then move your cursor to where you want to put it and put it. That's how it would work normally. Well, when it gets to this point in the experience, you click on that path, and when you go to move your cursor, there's like a straight up 1 to 2 second delay where it's just like frozen. And then you can move. And then when you click and you put down that asset, that building, that enclosure, whatever, it boom, puts it down, and there's another 1 or 2 second delay. And then you can continue moving. It becomes very, very chopped up at that point. And at that point, I don't want to say it's unplayable, but it gets to the point where it's like, at that point, I'd rather just start over another park. Also, because of the limitations of the Switch, it's the only version that has it's kind of hot in here. It's the only version that has a cap, 100 dinosaur cap per park. You can only put up to 100 dinosaurs. The other versions don't have that limitation. So again, this is where I've always said that, because the Switch is underpowered when compared to its competitors, they're going to have to come with that Switch Pro sooner than later, because now when we start getting real Series X and real PS5 games and they want to port some of these games over, third-party games on any of those systems, and they want to port them over, and those games are designed for the Series X and the PS5, they're not going to be able to do it on this standard Switch. We're going to need something more. So, but as far as, the overall experience, man, those negatives aside, it's still a particularly beautiful game, especially for the Switch. It's still fun, bro. If you're a Jurassic Park fan, if you're a management game fan, where you like to play games like City Skylines or Tycoon, Roller Coaster Tycoon or Planet Zoo, and you only have a Switch, or you have multiple systems, but you want to have this on the Switch to be able to take it on the go with you, it is the perfect game, I'll tell you, on the Switch to, boom, bust out a few contracts, try to get your star level up, or your star rating up, whatever, and then, put it into sleep mode and pick it up whenever you want later, and it'll be right there. That's awesome. It's a perfect game for that. So it's a good experience on the Switch, man. You know, if you go back and look at my previous review for this game when it was on, when I had it on PS4 and subsequently later Xbox One S and Series X, I probably gave it a 10 if I'm not remembering, 10 out of 10, because I love these type of games, this genre, and I love Jurassic Park, and it's basically a Jurassic Park Operation Genesis modern day, which I had always wanted, man. Ever since that game stopped working for me back in the day, I was praying for this game to make a comeback. And when it was announced in 2018, I blew a gasket. I was so happy. So, I gave it a 10 on those systems. On the Switch, I'll probably give it a 7.5 or an 8, because those performance issues, especially that chugging, the 100 dinosaur cap, I don't really care about, because damn, you put a fucking 100 dinosaurs on an island, man, that's already a pretty big park. But when it starts to chug like that, it just gets annoying, dude. And it's like, nah. So that's something I wish they would patch out. But I'm not sure Frontier's ever going to really do that, because I'm sure they're hard at work right now finalizing everything for Jurassic World Evolution 2, which is another thing I want to talk about in this video. This is going to be a long video. There's a lot to talk about. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, the game it's a good Switch experience, man. That's the best I can say for it, and it's enjoyable, and it was worth it. I got it for like $30. I want to say Christmas Day, this past Christmas, I was at my mother-in-law's house with my wife and her family and all that. I had my Switch there, and I was like, oh shit, there's a discount on it. It went from $59.99 to $35 that day, whatever. I just said, all right, $30, it's worth it. Now I don't know the price, so you gotta have to make that determination for yourself. But yeah, man, it's good. It's good fun, man. And I'm happy I have that version, man, because again, it does have the added bonus that it comes with everything the game's ever had. So where I had to pay for DLC here and there on the PS4 version or on the Xbox version, all that shit, and even the shit that I just didn't pay money for, and I said, fuck it, I don't need that, all of it is in the game. So every hybrid, every species, every fucking storyline, every story DLC, all of it's there. So that's that, man. Moving on to Jurassic World Evolution 2, which comes out, if I'm not mistaken, in November. I think it comes out the exact same day as Forza Horizons 5 on the Xbox. I am so fucking psyched for that game, bro. For Forza also, but for Jurassic World Evolution, man, you see me gush about this game, Jurassic World Evolution. For them to, I always was like, bro, I would love a sequel, but they're probably not gonna do a sequel, man. I haven't, I'm not really that familiar with Frontier, but I've seen them like jump around, from property to property. I haven't really seen them stay and make a lot of sequels. Like I don't know if they're the ones that did Roller Coaster Tycoon. I'm not sure. I know they did Planet Coaster. They did that. And they did Planet Zoo. But I haven't really seen them make sequels. So when I saw the reveal trailer for this, I want to say it wasn't E3. It was the event that just happened a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it's Gamescom or what. It was some event there that happened a few weeks ago, and they showed the trailer. I was like, oh, this is awesome, dude. And you can see from the trailer, they already addressed a lot of the things that fans of the franchise were like, oh, I wish we could see this. I wish the dinosaurs had, more animations instead of the same old animation when the same thing happened. And you can see already right off the bat that they addressed that. So it looks great. It just looks phenomenal, man. I can't wait. And I've seen YouTube videos of people who have had, I don't know if it's early builds of the game or whatever, and they played through, and they'll show gameplay, and they'll talk about the differences and the new additions and all that. I'm loving everything I'm hearing, man. So I can't wait. But that's a bitch, because I know that's not gonna be on Game Pass day one. So I'm gonna have to fork up the dough, and I'm gonna do it because even though there's a lot of stuff I'm trying to save for right now, like a fucking house or I want to get a dog, all these different things. I know I'm forking over the dough. Come on, I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer at heart. It's gonna happen. Same thing right now in October with Metroid Dread. I'm fucking dying for that game. After every trailer, every commercial Nintendo shows for that game just blows me away more and more. And I'm just like, I was even thinking to myself, like, you know what? I'm gonna have to pass on Dread, at least at launch. Wait a little while. I'm like, nah, I don't give a fuck, bro. I mean, after everything I'm seeing, I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. So yeah, Jurassic World Evolution 2 looks great. I cannot fucking wait. Other things, man. Bro. Y'all saw my E3 reaction video. I reacted to Microsoft and Bethesda's show, and then I reacted to Nintendo's show. And one of the things if you saw that video, one of the things that that I came away from that E3 so fucking hyped and so waiting for. It's something I have been waiting for forever, bro. It was basically my pilot wings in the modern day, which was Flight Simulator. And bro, let me just say, Flight Simulator on the Series X at 4K 60. Bro, it is such an amazing game, an amazing exclusive for the people out there. Oh, say PlayStation has the exclusives, even though they don't really have shit. I mean, they have Ratchet and Clank, which looked really good, and I still am interested to one day at least try that game. But all that shit that they were touting about, see, this is only, the rifting is only possible with the SSD and all. I forgot the name of the developer, but a developer already came out and debunked that and said, no, this is bullshit. They could have done this even on the PS3. Okay, so, whoa, tremendous exclusive. And also, like Returnal. Nobody gives a shit about Returnal. People forgot about that shit already. Like I said, like we all knew, Horizon Forbidden West delayed. God of War already got delayed. It's like, what are they really doing for the gamer right now? The only thing they can do right now is provide tutorials on how to swap out the SSD or how to swap out the SSD because it's so fucking complicated. Or Microsoft is just like, buy this fucking Seagate / Microsoft card, pop it in, you got an extra terabyte. I mean, anyways, but Flight Simulator is just phenomenal, dude. And I've done all the updates and all the world updates and all that crap. It's just crazy, dude. First thing I did in that game, the first thing I did, I was like, all right, I'm going to take off from Miami International Airport, right here in Miami where I live. And I'm going to head to the Keys, to Key West. Did that. Bro, so fucking accurate. And the way that this game uses Google Maps or I don't know what app or what technology it uses, but it uses the satellites to literally map out the actual geography of the world. So what you're seeing is what's there. And the fact that you could do live weather and live air traffic and all that, and it's actually what's going on at that moment in that day. It's fucking crazy, dude. I've done day flights. I've done night flights. I've done flights in rain and lightning storms. I've done flights where I go above the cloud cover and I'm flying over the storm and then through the storm and all that. I've done flights to Cuba. I did a flight from Hawaii, from Honolulu to Anchorage, Alaska. That took me almost 7 hours on a Saturday, dude. And I was loving it. And when I would get bored, I'm like, all right, put it on autopilot. I would step outside, have a few drinks, chill, be on my laptop. I look back, and the shit's still going. All right, cool. I make my adjustments. And it's like a real fucking flight, dude. And then the landing and all that, everything is so fucking lifelike. It's a bit overwhelming when you first get into it. You gotta look at the tips that it offers and all that, and you gotta be patient. But when you get in there, and you at least, like, I'm no pro, but I'm good enough that I can right now take off, fly, and do whatever I want. It's so fucking awesome, dude. The locations, all right, check this out. I flew from Miami Executive Airport. Used to be Miami Airport, right next to my job. I took off from there. I flew to Homestead, where I live, and I flew right over my apartment complex, and it was there. I flew over my job, and it was there to the point. I played a joke, and I did this at work. I mean, I've done it on my Series X also, but I did it at work on one of our PCs. It was a day that we had inventory counts, so we couldn't do any work. So we were just sitting around playing games, and we were playing Flight Simulator. I'm like, watch, and I took off, and we found it. We found my job, and I was like, I'm gonna fly the plane right into the fucking building. And as I was doing that, as I got closer and closer, and I was about to dive bomb on the building, I saw my car, my coworker's car, bunch of coworkers' cars right where they always are, right where we always park. And I was like, this is fucking crazy, dude. In a game, dude. It's awesome, dude. I've flown over my job. I've flown over my house, my apartment complex. Man, everything, dude. It's like, it's so crazy. It's like, I'll be flying and I'll come down low and I'll fly right above the I-95. And everything that I would see on my drive to work, I'm seeing it, but from the air, and it's all there. Hell of an exclusive. Microsoft has got a stunner right there. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, it's probably the only game this year, or at least the only exclusive this year, if I'm not mistaken, that I've seen that was rated a perfect 10 by a couple different sites. Does Sony got that? Nintendo don't even got that. But Microsoft ain't got no exclusives. Bro. Flight Simulator is just phenomenal. I got into the Sea of Thieves. I haven't completed it yet because I do that just it's a story expansion. The Pirate's Life, Jack Sparrow, and all that shit. It's awesome. It's really good. It's a lot of content, dude, for free. I've done like two or three out of the five missions that are there, and they're all super long missions. A lot of gameplay, a lot of content. That's been awesome. I did some of it with my nephew, online, and two of his friends. But really, I just been getting back into Sea of Thieves, man, and just enjoying all. They had so much content to that game over and over again. Rare has really fucking stepped up. I mean, that game is gorgeous, super fun to play. I mean, and for a game that really is designed to be played as a squad, I go in there by my lonesome, dude, and I just fucking get the smallest ship, boom, deck it out the way I want with my shit, and I stock up, and I go at it alone, and I still have success, and I'm still having a blast. So there's that, man. On the Switch, aside from Jurassic World Evolution, what I've been playing a lot of is, man, I don't stop playing Super Mario 3D All-Star Collection. I fucking love that. To have Mario 64, Galaxy, and Sunshine right there in the palm of my hands, looking better than they've ever looked, and controlling and playing better than they've ever looked is it's a thing I can't get bored of. I mean, there's times I'll take out my Switch at work during lunch or during break, or even here when my girl's watching TV, and I don't really feel like playing Xbox at that point. I'll pick up my Switch. There'll be times where I'll be like, well, I don't know what to play. There's really nothing I want to play or nothing that comes to mind. Go pop in 3D All Stars, man. There's always a good time there. So that's been great. What else, man? What else can we talk about, man? I mean, there was a bunch of because I have Game Pass Ultimate. I'm always getting discounts and special deals and all that. And I was at work one day, right? And this customer was complaining that their laptop was crashing during gameplay. And we asked them what games they were playing, and I forgot what they said. We didn't have that specific game on our Steam account at the job, and our job is super cheap. They didn't want to fucking buy the game, so I said, all right, fuck it. Equally demanding game. I mean, it is technically a last gen game because it was PS4 and Xbox One, but it's a pretty demanding game. It's Far Cry 5. The Far Cry games are always visually and CPU wise demanding. So I said this would be the perfect test. Man, I spent like fucking 4 hours that day testing that computer playing Far Cry 5. I had cleaned out the guy's heat sinks. He had mad dust in his fans and all that shit. I prettied it up, cleaned it up, made sure everything was in good order, and then played for 4 or 5 hours. Had no problem. And I was like, man, I love this fucking game. I miss it. I have it on my PS4, but I don't want to bring my PS4 out of the kids' room. And on top of that, these fucking kids destroyed all 3 of my PS4 controllers. So right now I don't have a way to play PS4 until I buy another controller, which is not going to happen for, I don't know when. So I was like, man, let me go see how much Far Cry 5 is. Bro, it was like $9. I was like, okay, put it, download it. And I've been going ham on Far Cry 5 on the Series X. Let me tell you, bro, the Series X, bro, it's such a beefy beast of a console that it's like, not only has Far Cry 5 never looked better, and it was already gorgeous to begin with, but I can see, because it's not optimized for Series X, but I'm playing it on Series X. So there's certain upgrades or certain enhancements that are going to happen naturally by the fact that you're playing the software on more powerful hardware. And, bro, not only has Far Cry 5 never looked better, but I can see the limitations of what they were designing the game for at the time they designed it. Okay? Because my Series X is a beast. Series X in general is a beast. I've never seen, like, there's areas in Far Cry 5 when you're flying high up, on a helicopter or something. I've seen some ridiculous pop-up that you never saw on the PS4 or the Xbox One on the Series X, because the Series X it's loading shit so fast. Sometimes it'll load, all of a sudden a group of trees will just appear. Not close. I'm saying like from a distance, but you'll see them. Boom. When it gets to the point where this game was designed, with the limitations of the previous generation's hardware, so they were like, okay, at this certain distance is the first time we could possibly allow the player to see these trees, so it'll pop up there. It's like on the Series X, it's just like pop, it pops up out of nowhere. You're like, what the fuck? I've seen fucking mountains in the background pop up and load in so quick, the textures ain't there yet. It's like the system is just fucking flying, dude. But yeah, I've been having a blast with Far Cry 5, man. Just a phenomenal game, man. Far Cry I can't wait to play Far Cry 6. That's another one. I'm not gonna fork out the dough for that one. Not just yet, man. I'm gonna give it some time. I'm gonna give it some time and see if it shows up on Game Pass or if at least there's a deal or something that happens, and then I'll buy it if need, because I love Far Cry. I have a lot of hype for this new Far Cry 6 and the setting and all that, and a female protagonist for the first time. Well, in Far Cry 5 you could be male or female, but strictly focusing on a female protagonist for the first time. I'm not one of these woke motherfuckers. I don't care about none of that bullshit. I don't see it as something special or groundbreaking or progressive. But I don't hate it either. I'm like, let's check it out. This might be good. It will be good and different for story reasons. Like, we can see from a female's perspective. She looks like a little badass, man. So I wanna check this out. And I love the villain, dude. The villain, my homeboy from fucking Breaking Bad, bro. Gustavo. He's awesome, dude. And it looks good, man. It looks good. It looks, it's Mexico if I'm not mistaken. But the storyline is very hits home to me because the way it looks a lot like what Cuba has gone through in their in the history of the country. And me being Cuban, having a Cuban family that escaped from that is real cool. Like I can't wait to see this. But I also have some hesitations. I'm like, Far Cry 5 was so fucking good, but as good as it was, to me 3 is still my favorite, bro. 3 is still the best for me, dude. So I want to see if they can knock it out of the park with a brand new experience that's just like, yes, this is the best Far Cry. Because to me, Far Cry 5 is amazing, but to me, the best is still 3. So there's that. We'll see what's up there. But man, Metroid Dread. Man, dude. Today at work, I was like, I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but Fridays go by really slow for me. Because I'm like, it's the beginning of the weekend. I can't wait to get the fuck out of here. And it just drags. And I'm like, oh my God, I need something to get me through this. And YouTube has become so boring, man. Like I don't see a lot of, content that I want to watch really popping up. So I was like, fuck it, bro. I'll go on a trip through memory lane and I'll go and, listen. I can't watch because I'm working, but I'll have it. I'll be listening and I'll listen to some of my old videos. And I was listening to videos from me talking about the Switch at its launch or right before its launch or, a couple years into it, like a year or two into it. And it's fascinating to me to see all the things I thought were going to happen. And a good amount of them actually did. I was like, oh shit, I was pretty spot on. Well, there's a couple places I botched it completely, but Metroid was one of those places that I forgot what video it was, man, but I basically said, I'm like, it was a video where I was talking about, like, what franchises do people want to see back now that the Switch is, since it was shortly after the Switch launch, and since the Switch had launched with such fervor, like it just took off, I was like, okay, if this keeps going, I even said it, I'm like, this could end up being number one over the PS4 and the Xbox One. And it's not there yet, but it's about to be. I mean, the PS4 was like, it's like at 105 million? Bro, the Switch in less time than the PS4 was able to do it is already over 96 million, if I'm not mistaken. It's gonna beat them. It's gonna beat them. So I was spot on that. But the other thing I said was, what franchises do you want to see back? And we talked about Wave Race, F-Zero. And I said, I was like, Metroid is one of those franchises. Not only do I want to see back, I think we will see back. And this was before they announced Metroid Prime 4. Which has been a fucking disaster. But I even said, I'm like, and they can get to the, this looks like it's going to be so successful, the system, that it could be like the Wii, in the sense that the Wii had multiple installments of some of the big franchises. Like, it had 2 3D Marios. It had Zelda. Yeah, it had 2 3D Zeldas. It had 2 3D Metroids, Metroid Other M and Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. I'm like, we're probably going to see 2 Metroids on the Switch. I said that, like before E3 where they announced Metroid Prime 4. And lo and behold, we still have to have Metroid Prime 4, which we haven't seen a goddamn thing, which is, it's still like, I'm looking at that game like it's vaporware. I really don't believe in it until they fucking show me something. But according to them, it's going to happen. And then we got Metroid Dread. And I was just like, motherfucker, I was pretty spot on, dude. Don't get me wrong. There was places where I completely botched it, dude. Where I was hyping up the Switch Online, like it was gonna, DNA was gonna be in charge of it, and maybe they still are, responsible for it. But it's garbage. They didn't come through on anything I thought they were gonna accomplish. It's horrible. But speaking of Nintendo Switch Online, that piece of shit service. Rumors circulating. Boom, boom. They've been circulating for months now, man. First about, well, actually, first over a year ago. First, they were talking about the N64 being added to the Switch Online, which, oh my god, I Nintendo, please do this, please fucking do this. But then, more recently, last 2-3 months, rumors have been circulating about them adding Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance, I think it is. Again, you guys know my stance on handhelds. I don't give a shit. I don't care. That does nothing for me. It will allow me to play something I've never played before, even though I have the opportunity to play it on the Wii U. If I want to, I can go on the Wii U Virtual Console, because I think it's still up, and buy the game. Metroid Hunters and Metroid Fusion. I never got to play those. And I know that Metroid Dread story carries from those games. So, aside from that, I don't care about the Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, or whatever being added if that happens. But then all of a sudden, the N64 got picked up again. And it was like, oh, the N64's coming, N64's coming. Bro. And that they want to add N64 and Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. Those three. Add them to what they already have, which is SNES Online and NES Online. And introduce a tiered program to their online. Meaning you could do the basic, which you have the SNES and the NES Online and ability to play online. Or pay a little bit more and have N64 online and Game Boys, whatever, on there. Listen to me good. I will pay $60 a year without any fucking hesitation to have N64 online on the Switch Online service. Like I'm dead serious. And unlike SNES and NES Online, where Nintendo gets away with releasing shit games for it, and whenever the fuck they want, it's not even on a schedule. I wouldn't necessarily have to worry about that with N64 Online. I'm gonna tell you why. Because N64 is the greatest console of all time. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. But it had a small library. Okay? It had a small library, and so many of those games were fucking gems. There's very, comparatively speaking to the Wii or the PS2, there's very little shovelware or bullshit on the N64's library. A big percentage of it was fucking all-time greats. The only thing that worries me is that a huge chunk of the N64's library that were games you really want were Rareware games. And Rareware is owned by Microsoft. Now, Nintendo and Microsoft have been really buddy-buddy over the last 3 years or so. Nintendo would have to work out a deal with them, because the N64 Online would not be N64 Online without Rare's games. So, I don't care if you got to cut a deal with them where they get money. Even if it's 50-50, they get half of it, you get half. I don't give a shit, Nintendo. Do it. Because you got to have Donkey Kong 64. You got to have Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. You got to have Jet Force Gemini. You got to have GoldenEye 007. You got to have Perfect Dark. You got to have Killer Instinct Gold. You got to have all those games, man. And Conker's Bad Fur Day. What the fuck am I thinking? You got to have all of that. So cut the fucking check. Make it happen. If that happens, I'll pay $60 a year. I don't give a fuck, man. I'll pay $70 straight up. I'll pay $10 more for a shitty online service. But to have N64 on the go, I'll do that right now. Right now. Right fucking now. Right now. Right now. Where's my phone? I will Google Pay your ass right there. Without a fucking problem. For N64 Online. The fuck out of here, man. That shit, I hope that happens, man. I hope that happens. Because, man, I'm looking at my Switch Online and I'm looking at NES Online. I haven't played that shit in a year. SNES Online, I only started playing it again just yesterday and today to play some Donkey Kong Country 2 or Diddy's Conquest. You know? Man. You know, and then that's now that we're on that topic, that kind of pisses me off, bro, because it's like, yo, when I look at specifically Super Nintendo Online, why the fuck, after it's been here this long, and have that many games already on it. And don't get me wrong, not every game is shit. There's a lot of good games on there. Super Metroid is on there, Super Mario World. I believe Super Castlevania 4 is on there. Mario Kart. All three Donkey Kong countries. Awesome. But there's a lot of bullshit also. Where are games like Spider-Man Maximum Carnage? Where are games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time? Where are games like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Tournament Fighters? Where are the Power Ranger games? Where is the Disney games? Because when you do a service like this, Nintendo, what I can't stand about Nintendo is they want to have their cake and eat it too. It's all for them. It don't work like that, dude. Okay, because some of the best games, Nintendo's first party lineup cannot be touched. But some of the best games on the NES, on the SNES, were third party games. So you're gonna have to make deals. Bro, Konami is not making much fucking money nowadays, bro. Get on the phone with them, cut a deal, and get me my fucking Turtles in Time. And if you have it on SNES Online, I believe, because I know the NES Online has this, I believe you could play that online with people. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Time online on the Switch, portable right now. But bro, so they got to do that, man. But as far as N64 Online goes, man, can you imagine having, the nicest looking version ever of Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time right there on the go, of GoldenEye right there on the go, Pilot Wing 64 right there on the go. I've already seen how good it is to have Mario 64 on the go, looking as fucking good as it's ever looked through the 3D All-Stars collection. Come on, man. Nintendo, you can't be this stupid, bro. You cannot be this stubborn. Get the shit done, man. Microsoft is sitting there giving you Game Pass. And I know Microsoft makes more money than anybody, so they can afford to do something like that. But for real, dude, Game Pass for a fee every month, I have access to so much. Bro, nobody has a catalog and a vault like Nintendo. And Nintendo should have been doing something like Game Pass. I've said it before. Back in 2006, when the Virtual Console came out, I was like, this is amazing. And years later, I thought about it. I'm like, okay, instead of having us buy whatever games, that's cool because you can pick and choose. Bro, just unlock your entire catalog across all generations and have a fee. Pay this every month. You have access to all these games. Oh, a reason, but that will take a lot, bro. It will take a lot to do that because there's different systems, different emulators, different architectures. You've had since 2006. It's 2021 right now, dude. It's 15 years. It ain't gonna take that much. Come on, dude. That's what gets me so mad about Nintendo. But focusing on the positive. But yeah, man. Like I said, Metroid Dread. I cannot wait for that game. And truth be told, I have no shame in admitting it, dude. I've played the shit out of all of them. Yeah, I've never once beat any Metroid game. None of them. The original one on the NES, please. I was too young at that time to appreciate a game like that. And going back now, it's I don't really want to put the time in to go through, I hate to say it because it sounds snobbish, but an 8-bit game, yeah, maybe one day I'll do it, but, just to see because it is a fucking classic. But it's I'm not in the mood to do that. Now, Super Metroid, I've done that a couple of times. I get lost in that motherfucker. But I have fun while I'm getting lost. I have a blast. Metroid Other M, I got really far in. Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, I got really far in. But I didn't complete either one of them. Metroid Prime 1, I played it back originally on the GameCube when it first came out. And I played a good amount of it, but I don't think I was anywhere near the end. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, I've never played. I've never played that one. So this might be the first one that I beat because I'm going in on this game because it looks so good, bro. And it looks like Nintendo in this game is actually listening to the fans and actually being like, you know what, bro? We have been the company known throughout time to fucking actually pay attention to our fans and give a shit about what they want and try to implement that. And for the last couple of years, I feel like they've been so high and mighty and making so much money that they don't give a fuck. So this is the first time that I in a while that I've seen them yo, we really want to get this to you. the way you guys have been waiting for it since Dread was first rumored back in the day. So that's cool. Yeah, man. Aside from that, man, I don't think I have anything else to say, bro. I mean, gaming right now, man, it's white hot. It's white hot, and it's only gonna get, bro, into this holiday season, bro. Series X is gonna get going, dude. They've already started it, but you've seen it, and they talked about it. They have one big exclusive release every month for the rest of the year. You know, PlayStation is gonna start to get their shit together. Even if they delayed some of their games, they got to do something. Nintendo's coming with that Metroid Dread, dog. Like, and it's like, and then third parties are stepping up, bro. You got fucking Jurassic World Evolution 2 there. You got fucking Far Cry 6. You got, you just had Madden. I don't know how good that was. I heard some backlash, whatever. NBA 2K22 just came out. It's just like, yo, but Game Pass has been, like, I've said it since I got in last year, and I will continue to say it. Game Pass is fucking, it's the best value in gaming. And right now, it's just fucking white hot, dude. I just got an alert a little while ago on my watch about, new on console. They're letting me know Game Pass. This is what's new on the console. I'm like, oh fuck, I don't even want to look. I don't even want to look because I'm overwhelmed right now. I'm overwhelmed right now. I'll look later and I'll see what's up. But yeah, man, it's been great, man. So man, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, man. It's been a long time since I got with you guys. A 41-minute video. It was long as fuck, man. So for those of you who stick through the whole thing, salute. God bless y'all. Stay gaming. Peace.